Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and today we're going to check out a handful of knives. And starting the list off, we have this TOOR Knives KARSUMBA. Now, this did come from KAVISO. I will have everything linked down in the description. It is a USA made fixed blade with a hawk bill blade. This one's an S35 VN. It comes in a couple different options, including my CORTA handles. This one has the carbon fiber, somewhat of like a swirl effect milled into the handle. Extremely comfortable in the hand. It is tight between my four fingers, you know, locking into this groove, but it's comfortable. So my fitment is perfect. If my hand was any larger though, it might not so much. But I can definitely get a fantastic grip on this. Rock solid lock up in my hand. You have this little spot right there where your thumb comfortably lands. The grind is robust and thick. Ooh. But for clawing motions, I did claw at a piece of cardboard. Ooh, that went all just for fun. The way in. And yeah, it's we'll do a punch. It's very easy to use. You know, you can do the very easy to do, you know, just clawing at what's in front of you motion and do a ton of damage. You know, and that's obviously, you know, if you're completely untrained and just in a freak out situation, you know, you can do a lot of damage with it, you know, let alone if you did do a little bit of training and practicing with it. You can do it, get it in the reverse grip. It's pretty comfortable. However, you know, it's a little bit narrow or a little bit thinner right there for my pinky. I prefer the forward grip personally. But yes, you know, if this is your comfortable grip, you can absolutely do it. The price on it is a little steep in my opinion, though. I understand it's USA made. I know TOOR Knives is not a you know, a massive company or anything, and I get that. I do get it. But it just seems like it's a little bit more on the steeper end compared to, you know, other companies' fixed blade knives and, you know, USA made fixed blades. But, you know, I know prices are going up, and I guess it just depends on whether or not it's worth it to you and if this is your style or not. The one complaint I have is that the sheath doesn't come with a buckle or anything. It's just this Kydex sheath, so which works fine. I have no problem with the sheath itself, but I wish it had an attachment, a belt attachment. For the amount of money it is, I don't know why it wouldn't. Nothing else comes in the box. A little bit of I think frog lube or whatever, but that's it. So yeah. Other than that, I mean, you know, I think the knife is awesome. I think it's great, but man, if it had a belt attachment so you don't have to spend more money now after getting it, that would be awesome. But all in all, build quality, fit and finish, it's nice and thick and robust. It's definitely going to have a tough edge. Now, personally, me, I would lower back the angle to like 17 degrees per side, maybe even 15 degrees per side. I think with this geometry, I think it would do great with a low angle because it's already a super tough edge. Thickness behind the edge is looking like about 31 thousandths right behind the edge. It's robust. This thing is thick, which is going to make it open up bigger wound channels. Now, that also stops it from being as sharp with a high angle like what's kind of on it, which is more built for toughness. So if you lower back the angle, 600 grit. 600 grit with a 17 degree per side edge, or even 15 degrees. This thing would be dangerous. But let's get to the next one. Like I said, I'll link everything down in the description. Next, the new Giant Mouse CORTA. This one is made by Riat. Unlike my other one, I don't know if you guys seen my recent video on the JUTLAND, the Giant Mouse JUTLAND. I absolutely love this knife. I've been carrying it ever since I got it. You know, I'm not the biggest fan for Persian or trailing pointed clip point blades for EDC because I don't think they do utility cuts very good, but this one works just fine. You know, for regular, you know, little bit of detailing work, a little bit of opening something up, it's fine. It's just, it's not going to be an all-day utility cutter type of knife. You know, it's more for slicing. So, but anyways, love the knife, the action, the detent, the everything. Go watch my full first impressions on it. It is amazing. But talking about this one, you can see the two different colors of micarta we have here. We have the green micarta and their natural micarta. Now this one, unlike this one that's made in Italy with LMAX steel, this one is made by Riet in China, but Riet does the best OEM work you could ask for from a knife company, and yeah, it's really, really good. It feels like Riet quality, but I have to say, this does too. They knocked it out of the park with this. The detent on both of these feel almost identical. They're just super snappy, incredible. You can't fail it. There's no way you can fail these. They're so snappy, it almost feels like it's an assist. Nice, beautiful grind, beautiful sharpening tool and plunge grind, good access to the lock bar, very smooth on the drop, crown spine, the jimping lands in a good spot, and it is nice and comfortable for a little compact knife. I know it doesn't look like it would be, but when you get it in hand, it kind of melts in your hand a little bit. Now, it's small in my hand, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's, you know, like a fixed blade, but, you know, for a crammed up, 3.5, 4-figure knife, it's pretty comfortable. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. But this one's an M390, and, you know, I spoke the other day about Italy's M390, and this is being done by Riet, so, you know, they don't do a bad job with their M390. So let's get to the next one. Now, this next one is a more budget-friendly. We have the BESTECHMAN Dundee. I do have a full first impressions on this. It's very, very budget-friendly, which that's what they're going for. This is BESTECH's very, very budget line, which is BESTECHMAN. It is very good action. It feels like really good quality for a budget knife. Yes, I can still tell it's a budget knife, but it has all the details you want in a budget knife, you know, checked. No detent lash. I can feel it pushing itself out of the detent, but that's not detent lash. Comfortable flipper tab, fantastic detent, great breaking point, very snappy. Access to the lock bar is good. You can easily disengage it, and it's very smooth on the drop. The ergos, very neutral. I mean, you can go forwards or backwards pretty comfortably. Pinch grips are good. The clip is the one little issue. Now, the clip is amazing in the hand. You don't feel it at all. Such a low profile, deep carry clip inset with flat screws. Fantastic. I love that they did that. But the bill right here, it needs to be lifted up a little bit, but you could easily do it with a pair of pliers, or, you know, you can put something under there and bend it up. Hopefully, you know, I can do it and it doesn't affect the ergos, because it would just benefit by having a little tiny bit more ramp. But like I said, that's an easy thing to do at home. But yeah, D2 steel. The grind, you know, it's a mediocre grind. It's not super thin, not super thick. It's going to be just fine for most things. Somewhat of a straight clip point. And, you know, the sharpening tool and plunge grind could be better. And, you know, I wish the lock bar had some texture on it, because it is a little slick. But all in all, fantastic budget knife. Anybody who's in the market for you know, under $50 knife, this is a fantastic option to go with. Next, changing it up just a little bit, we'll go through this one quickly. This is the MAXACE Ace Hephaestus. This thing is an absolute beast of a knife. I mean, beast. It has multiple different ways to lock it. First off, it has a super robust frame lock already. And it is so robust. I mean, it is a vault. There is no side to side, no up and down. I mean, look how thick that blade is. The blade stops are right here. The thumb studs are the blade stop. Then you have this thick lock bar that just, ooh, it's a vault. But if you want to make it a little bit stronger, you can turn that. Now you can't unlock it. So now it's stuck. So the only way to unlock it is if this lock bar either breaks this piece or you disengage it so that you can unlock it. Now next, if you want to get even stronger, there's a pin that you can put right in there to where it'll never close. It basically turns itself into pretty much a fixed blade, at least damn near. And as thick as these scales are, as thick as this blade is, as thick as that pin is, I have no doubt that it's probably stronger than a lot of fixed blades. It's heavy, it's badass, titanium frame lock, all titanium. Look at that backspacer, look at that. It's so robust. Look at all the hardware. M390 steel. The blade shape is a drop clipped point, slightly recurved blade. I love the look of this blade shape. It's such an aggressive looking blade. In the hand, it feels like a fixed blade. The one thing is when you close it, you do have to get past, because they have the cutout in the blade. You have to get past that, so you have like a little bit of a stop right there, but you can just give it a little effort and it'll go right past. Flipping action is pretty good. I mean, it is a heavy blade, but it does jump out there. Then you have the fuller. So the action for such a heavy knife, heavy blade, you know, the action's actually pretty good. But yeah, this is an absolute monster, and I love it. Now, stepping down from there, we have the Savivi Banneray. I'm really liking this one, and I'm glad because, I mean, I have a couple complaints, but there was a couple knives, specifically one that I was very disappointed in, and I'm going to make a video about my top 5 knives that have been disappointing as of lately, but this one is really good. I do like this one quite a bit. I love the spear point blade. It's a beautiful spear point blade. Love the swedge on the front nose of it. It just looks like it wants to poke into something. The ergos are as neutral as you can get, so whether you're cutting backwards, forwards, down, it's all comfortable. Even in a reverse grip, extremely comfortable. So it's just a super comfortable knife. Straightforward, only flipping action, that's it. Access to the lock bar, they don't give you much of a cutout, but it's chamfered on both sides and it's nice and comfortable to disengage, so there's no problems with it. Very smooth on the drop. Internal stop pins, nice solid lock up. Good quality micarta. Now, the one downside to it is that it is a steel frame lock, not titanium. But, you know, it's not in the price range of titanium knives. It is still in the somewhat of a budget price range, but it's also creeping towards the premium price range. So, depending on, I mean, it has to speak to you. If it speaks to you, I say get it. I love it. Personally, I like it. I'd probably pay for it. So, but I do think, though, you know, with me saying that I'd buy it. I do think it's slightly getting up there in price, and we're noticing that across the board with a lot of companies, and that's going to be a subject I think I'm going to have to do a whole video on, because we're seeing some prices go through the roof. So it is what it is, but I will say this, though. It's really good quality. Like I said, it checks a lot of boxes for me. The one thing is I wish the plunge grind was better. You know, come on. Come on with the plunge grind and sharpening choil. I can put in my own. It's got internal stop pins. I'm not too mad at it. But reversible deep carry clip that works very well. I'm usually not one for holes, but in this case I do think it looks cool. Kind of classes it up a little bit. You know, it looks like somewhat of a gentleman, yet very capable, sleek EDC knife. That's what I love about it. Next, the Besttech Ghost. Now this one is the shred carbon fiber version. Steel liner lock, titanium clip, milled pocket clip, S35VN. Nice big fit. Well, I guess it's not a big finger choil, but it's a nice size finger choil. Very comfortable in the hand. It doesn't look like it. The way you look at it, you know, it's like, whoa, man, that thing looks like it'll be super uncomfortable. But once you put it in your hand, you realize this whole area right here, the spine, lays right in your palm very nicely. You have a nice placement for your middle finger, and then your thumb goes right there, and it's very, very, very comfortable. Now, in like a pinch grip or something to do utility cuts, the spine rolls right in your palm again, so it's going to be great for utility cuts. You know, cutting straps and stuff, you could do it, but you're going to have to bring your fingers up over the upper part near the blade instead of back here, I'm saying. But it works. It works great. It is a comfortable knife, very snappy action. Now, this little fuller thing, yeah, you can flick it, but I don't think it's intended for it because it's not easy. But the flipper tab, however, the leverage you get, the way it's set up, and I know it looks awkward, but the way the leverage point is set up on the flipper tab, you have a ton of pullback leverage there. It's like you're yanking back a hammer or something, and you can still push button it. A swedge on top of the blade looks really good. It's unique looking, somewhat good looking. You know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I think it has somewhat of a good look to it. I think it's ugly closed, but open, I think, you know, it kind of, you know, makes up for it. Liner lock access, it's okay. Yeah, it's all right. Very smooth on the drop. But yeah, something different. I know it's been out for a little while and there is lots of different versions. It's not super cheap or anything, but it is really cool. It's very unique, and you know, among so many knives out here in the community, this one stands out quite a bit. It's different, it's unique, and it's pretty cool. So, and the last one is the Jmade. I forget the name. The Jmade slip joint knife. It's a titanium. Okay, so it's like a modern traditional. But the beautiful thing about this, one of the best parts about it, it has a clip, a titanium milled pocket clip. Super comfortable in the hand. Somewhat of a sway back, but it doesn't feel like a sway back. In the, you know, in a grip, whether you're pulling back, going forward, it's very comfortable. You can get up nice and tight to that edge for pinch grips and utility cuts. The spring, really nice walk and talk and back spring. I like it. M390 steel, somewhat of a Wharncliffe blade, modified Wharncliffe blade. This blade shape is so useful for EDC. Beautiful inlay of carbon fiber. The titanium is stone washed. The clip works great. It is a sleek, slim EDC knife, you know, slip joint knife that's easy to carry. You don't have to drop it down in your pocket. You don't have to put it in a slip. You can just put it right on your pocket. So I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Yeah, I definitely, for people that can't have locking knives, that have to have slip joints, you know, the one negative thing is that they rarely get clips on them. And this is one that I can definitely recommend. It is very well done. And yeah, but there you guys go. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.